I chose topic number 1. The different styles I use to manage conflict, it all really just depends on the situation. If I'm, well, for example, for collaborating, if my sister and I have to feed a whole bunch of animals, we would collaborate with each other so that we would both end up feeding the exact same amount of animals. And this way, we could be happy with each other because neither one of us had to feed more than the other one. Another style of managing a conflict would be compromising. An example of this would be if I was going to Tucson with another person and we had to be up there all day, and for lunch each of us wanted to eat at different restaurants. Well, we could both compromise and we could eat at one of our restaurants for lunch and the other one for dinner. And that way we're both getting what we want, but in the same sense we're having to give up that we can only eat there for one meal instead of 2. And the last one is competing. For competing, I really don't use this a whole lot, but an example for it would be if like me and 3 other people, we were going to go rent a movie and we could only rent one movie that night. And the 3 other people all wanted to rent this one movie, and I'd already seen that movie and I didn't really like it. And there was another movie that I hadn't seen yet and it looked interesting to me, but all 3 of those other people had already seen it and they didn't want to rewatch it. I would be competing with them to get that movie because I hadn't seen it yet and that was the movie that I'd want to see. And for different ways that I could approach managing a conflict, I could always, whenever I'm approaching a conflict that I'm going to have to deal with, I could always think about everybody else's perspective and think about making it fair to everyone so that I don't make anyone else mad and everybody kind of wins out of what they're wanting. Another way would always try to be calm in whatever I'm doing, and especially in managing conflict. That way, if I'm calm, everybody else tends to stay calm, but if I'm not, then other people won't be calm. And that's the same way for everybody else. If they're not calm, then I won't be either. So those are the 3 styles of managing a conflict I have, would be collaborating, competing, and compromising.